Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to yet again another fantastic indie creator interview. It's your Cape Crusader Cody, and we are keeping it geekly with our returning guest, Nina Aberlein. We're here to have yet again another awesome launch party for Sunrise Blossom, and I am so excited. Nina, how have you been? Welcome back to the stream.
Hey, I've been busy drawing so much, marketing, drawing, marketing. Gosh, it's like a never-ending cycle. How have you been?
I haven't been too bad either. I've seen that you have been pretty prolific with your advertising, in terms of just like hitting the streets with it, making memes. Like it's like all different forms of advertising going into this that I've never even thought of.
I mean, the grind is the grind is all of the job. Memes are half the job.
No, I mean, hey, sometimes, it can be half the job and the memes will be the whole thing and just carry you the whole way. So how have you been since you've last been on the show? Last time we had a launch party for Volume 3. So, how did that Kickstarter end up going for you?
It went really well. It got like the most funding I'd ever gotten on a crowdfunder, so hopefully maybe this will go just as well. We reached, I think it was like 3,600 euros, and it was lost. I was able to fulfill everything within 2 months, and this time as well everything will be fulfilled within 2 months. So if you back it now, then definitely by the time April starts rolling in, you'll have a nice package at your doorstep.
Oh man, and I was so excited to get mine. It's always such a hard thing for me to do because weirdly enough, I won't read when I get the book. I always try to wait till the day of the interview. So I knew we were going to be sitting down again, so I was like, I'm gonna wait. And man, I loved it. When I read it, I got to the part where it's like, I'm gay. I'm like, ah!
Yeah, that was one of my favorite scenes of the third volume.
I loved it so much. We have Bagnan Teak. I'm sorry if I butchered that. Stopping in on YouTube saying live. Yes, welcome. We are live. Hi. Everyone that is watching, right here is the link. Be sure to check this back. And if you're unable to back, simply putting it on Facebook or Twitter, anywhere you can. Word of mouth is 100% free. So, wow. First backer. Hooray. Let's go. So give us a little bit about who you are. I know we've had you on the show before, but for anyone who might be a first-time listener, give us a little bit of a recap of, your history with creating comics.
So, hello everyone, my name is Nina Daisy Aberlein. I am an Italian-Canadian comic artist. I've been creating for 8 years now, technically. I've been creating comics, and my current ongoing project is Sunrise Blossoms. There are 3 issues out so far, 4 with this one, and it's about gay birds growing up and falling in love.
And I think you're underselling it. There is so much emotion within this, so much tension, and it's like there's trauma, there's heartbreak. I was reading this, and it's just even the humor nature, and I love like the little chibi expressions and everything. You just like put so much like life into this. I love it.
Thanks, Cody. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. So with the, volume 1, 2, and 3, what has happened so far in the story?
All right. So without spoiling it too much, in the 5th issue, or 5th volume rather, which is, it's a big book, 223 pages, we meet our protagonist, Ivy Vespertinus Rumbo. A falcon harpy who is abandoned by her birth mother and raised by a family of owls. And one day, while she is traveling with her owl sister to learn about human culture, they have a dumb sibling argument and are separated. And that's when Ivy meets Violet, the human companion who's going to help her mature, grow up, fall in love, discover the gay feelings. But things do get dark in the 1st volume itself. And it's not until a dramatic turn of events, still in the 1st volume, no spoilers, that Ivy discovers how her feelings are bigger than she anticipated. While in the 2nd volume, which funnily enough just like exactly a year ago, like this time last year, I was crowdfunding volume 2. And in the second volume, Ivy has been separated from her family, enslaved, and had her heart broken, but the young Falcon Harpy stays strong and perseveres. She believes to have finally found some peace with a kind old fatherly man, but when his real daughter shows up, it's time for Ivy to return to the woman she had fallen in love with. While then in the third volume, which is the one that we had the launch party for together, just like, 6 months ago or so?
Yeah. Time is flying fast.
Yeah, exactly. So in the third volume, which came out just a few months ago, this is the Italian volume. I was going to read the synopsis from the back, but that's the Italian volume. Give me half a sec, because I don't have it memorized. It's been 6 months. I'll go grab it.
So everyone that is watching, once again, I appreciate you guys all being here. Thank you so much for joining us on this awesome launch party.
Yeah. Then in the third volume, the waters finally seem to calm down, it seems. But when a mysterious dark boy shows up, things start to change for Ivy as new information is revealed to her. How will this impact her relationship with the raven-haired woman Violet? Back the campaign to find out.
Yeah. Oh, and that twist, I just was like floored by it. I loved it so much. Speaking of that second campaign, that was actually the first time we got you on the show. And I never stopped talking about this. I had one interview before you, and it was with George from the Adventures of Wonder Duck, and that was in November. So from November to February, I actively tried to get people on the show, and I couldn't. I remember I had you, and you liked and retweeted one tweet, and it took off, and that was like the very start of Keeping It Geekly. I will never let that like die. Like it was because of that retweet, and we're almost coming up on like the 1 year of Keeping It Geekly. 270 interviews later, creators of all sizes, like. You pretty much helped jumpstart like this, so thank you for that too. Like it's been such an awesome experience.
Congrats, man! Really, you deserve it.
So, what can we expect in Volume 4? I mean, 3 had some pretty crazy twists in it. So, what's going to happen in 4?
Well, in the 4th volume, Violet, the dark-haired woman, is finally beginning to notice Ivy, the Harpy who's been by her side the entire time. But that means trouble for her relationship with her boyfriend, who, taken aback by the possibility of losing her, gets down on one knee and says 4 reckless words. As blind panic rises in her chest, how will she react? Badly.
So are we allowed to talk about Volume 3 at all too?
Oh yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
It's fine.
So I didn't mean to interrupt you. Did you have more to say?
No.
Because I was going to say it was really interesting how their relationship is kind of like not like the most secure, right? Like Violet's boyfriend came to her in a time where she was like really just like he provided a level of comfortableness that, you know, she flocked to. So I really liked how you kind of built and set that relationship up like kind of like previously, and then Volume 4 seems like it's going to be like such a heavy hitter. Oh,
big time. And honestly, there is an entire date scene in the 4th volume that is so awkward. But in an entertaining way. It's like, you know, when you're like watching a film or a TV series and there is a really awkward scene and you get like secondhand embarrassment.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
no,
it's like.
You do a phenomenal job of invoking those type of emotions. Even like within Volume 3, when the boy meets her, you could see that he's like infatuated right off the rip. Like, and then like throughout Volume 3, you could see like those little like teasing, like the more teasing moments where he's like throwing the side eye, like haha. Like, you do such an awesome job invoking those emotions. You know, was it hard for you to kind of like write those type of feelings into this book?
Well, not exactly, because something that is very relevant in the Sunrise series is a lot of family relationships, if that makes sense. Like the relationship between Ivy and her sister, and the 3rd volume between Violet and her sister and her brother. And as a result, also the slightly growing relationship between Violet's brother and Ivy herself in the story, which is actually really taken from my own relationship with my siblings, two of whom are in the chat right now. So it's like I take the feelings and the interactions that I get like when I hang out with them, and I try to put them in the story. Like, heck, even in the first volume, when Ivy and her sister are bickering, is like almost word for word like arguments that I had with my sister when we were growing up.
We actually have Mars, the fucking Martian, stopping in to say hey. Ernesto also said the internet cut out at 2:38. Everything should be good. On my end,
it's their internet. Okay. Don't worry, they've got lucky internet these days.
And then Mars throwing a tee-hee in chat as well. I really loved the designing too. Like, you know, we have when you have Ivy and Violet together, like the roses or the flowering around the like the paneling. And I also like how you designed when they like turn into their animal forms as well. Can you give us a little bit of what that is? Because in volume 3 you talk about it too, like how someone was like learning how to become more of a human. You know, what goes into that within this world?
Well, it is something that is actually explained a little bit more at the beginning of the 4th volume, because I didn't want to, you know, do the lore dumpy thing and do like a boom, 50 pages of lore dump, because that's boring. Nobody wants that. So it's like tidbits of lore here and there. And at the beginning of the 4th volume, there is cute crayon drawings done by a grown-ass man trying to explain the history and the lore a little bit. But essentially what happens is that the way it is explained is ever since humans started taking over the world, like still in prehistoric time, something that was prevalent since, you know, they started populating the world is their cruelty, which is something that grew more and more and more. And I'm not talking about like hunters hunting for food and like skins, but cruelty, like, you know, like people who like torture cats just for fun. It's like that kind of shit. And a lot of these animals couldn't defend themselves properly, because if it's just like a human with a club, some animals might be able to defend themselves. But when arrows start coming in, fire starts coming in, guns start coming in, it gets harder and harder. So that's when they started praying, and something pretty much sent down extra species, which are these half human, half animal creatures that were sent down in the world to be a sort of mediary, something like an in-between, like a middleman, to try and protect their species from humankind. And over time, some were successful and some didn't, and that's how, you know, some animals went extinct pretty much because they were just incompetent or lazy or unmotivated. And that's pretty much how it stayed up. And something that is also mentioned from the very first volume is that when these extra species children, these half animal, half human creatures, reach a certain age, they go study human culture to learn about human culture, human history, and learn how to adapt in human society in order to fulfill their goal of protecting their species. And that's when the story starts coming in.
We have Ernesto saying sounds like Mars. a little fighting in the chat. No, I like how you balanced it within the comic too. Like there was a scene where he walks in on her using the bathroom, and she's like in her form, and then he shuts the door and then opens it again, and then you know, and then the way you capitalize on it too, like her smugness walking out, and then he's also like super embarrassed.
Here, hold on, let me show it. It's honestly one of my favorite sets of pages of the 3rd volume. It's hilarious. I just love their interactions.
But also there was a part where, you know, Ivy was on the phone and she notices a squirrel, and then her falcon like eyesight, she's like, I gotta go, there's a squirrel. And like, so like I really loved how you were able to balance that within the story too, like seamlessly, like, you know, you know, you really didn't miss a beat with it. So what goes into this again, for everyone who might be new, when you do, you know, the writing and the art, you know, what does that creative process look like for you when you start creating a volume?
Well, I actually got storyboards right here because I was working on the 5th issue just earlier today. So, as many might know, I publish my comic mostly on online platforms like Webtoon or Tapas in the vertical format. But the comics right here are in traditional format. What the frick? You might ask yourselves? Well, ask yourselves no more. Pretty much. My process is I script and storyboard all traditionally on paper. Like this. Da-da-da. Spoilers, maybe. Not really. Boop, boop, boop. Because it's easier for me to like get my thoughts down, to set the pace, and also to see what the pages look side by side, with like the panel composition, and the perspectives and so forth. So pretty much, yeah, the storyboards are all done on paper. Then I grab my tablet, open Clip Studio Paint, and do all the pages digitally in vertical format while keeping the panels more or less the same proportions and the same sizes as in the storyboards. Sketch, ink, color, render. Though, for the next volume, I have hired line artists to do the inking for me.
Okay.
Because my Patreon has grown enough that I can afford line artists, and also it allows me to create content a lot faster if someone is taking care of the line art for me.
That's so awesome. Congratulations. That's so awesome, dude.
Thank you. And then when the issue is ready, 50-something pages, I pretty much copy paste the panels into the traditional sized what's the word for it? Page. The traditional size page, and I've got the PDF and it's ready for print.
So are there any like significant changes when you go to make the transition from vertical comic to book? I mean, because I know a lot of times, like with vertical comics, there's, people utilize spacing, so there'll be like spaces or designs like within the spacing in the panel. So is there any changes for you when you make that transition?
Well, yes and no, because when I'm in the storyboarding process, it's something that I do try to keep in mind for both the traditional format and the vertical format. So how, for example, some long vertical panels might be used fully in the vertical format, because long vertical panels where you have to like keep on scrolling to read all of it can have a stronger impact, while long vertical panels on a traditional page are just thin on one side of the page and they don't have the same impact. Same thing with splash pages. Like in this 4th volume, there's a double splash page, which on printed copy, which would be like, I don't have any double splash pages in this issue, but it's like one big image on both pages. It's got a much stronger impact in the printed version, while in the vertical version, it doesn't have the same impact. So it's something that I try to balance while I'm planning the storyboards and the sizes of the panels and everything, so that there's a balance of panel impact in both the traditional comics and the vertical.
Yo, you just funded too. We just had someone in chat saying goal reach. Let's go.
Minutes.
Yeah.
We
20
got it
minutes.
in an hour last time, and we got it in 20 minutes this
Let's
time.
go, dude. Let's go.
I remember the last launch party. I was like, yeah, next time let's do it in half an hour. We did it in 20 minutes, bro. Yeah.
Hey, please. Let's cap it right here. I don't think 10 minutes might be stretching it too hard. Thank you everybody in chat for making this happen. If you are watching, right here is the link. Be sure to get your copy back today. If you're unable to, though, just put it on Facebook and Twitter. Word of mouth is 100% free. Nina, how are you feeling right now? I mean, we are literally 22 minutes into the stream. This is awesome.
Excited. On that note, I'm also feeling a little bit thirsty. And there is something that I would like to share with you all, because my glass is empty.
Here, let me go ahead and switch over to this screen, and we will give you the solo layout.
So if any of you have been present to like other personal streams and stuff, you might know that there is a Sunrise Blossom cocktail, which will also have an official debut in not the 4th issue, but in the 5th issue, which is the Sunrise Blossom cocktail. So you get a flute glass, Pineapple juice, preferably 100%. Glug, 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 glug. Grenadine syrup. And peach vodka. Or just like peach juice if you're like a kid or whatever.
I love how like the bottom, like the two colors are like layering almost.
They layer a bit, but also it's the same palette that is often present in the comic itself. And as you mix it, it becomes a peach pink color, like an orange pinkish color, which is another color that is prevalent in the comic itself, especially in like the logo name and everything. Though here, because of the light, is not super visible. And ta-da! It's the Sunrise Blossom cocktail, babies!
It looks so good too. How many attempts did it take to get it just right?
A few. Because it used to be like regular vodka and peach syrup and like tropical juice. I've tried a few, but this one is both one of the best, but also one of the easiest to reproduce. Because like, where are you gonna get peach syrup? You gotta make it at home. Ain't nobody got time for that. So instead of using plain vodka and peach syrup, just use peach vodka, and there you go.
All right, we are looking at Sunrise Blossom Volume 1 through 4. A GL and LGBT Monster Girl series about a lesbian falcon harpy and her human companion. Currently at $655 of a $543 goal with 13 backers and 29 days left to go. Congratulations again on hitting your goal. That is so awesome.
Thank you. Oh, I almost forgot to say something important about this volume in particular. I have been advertising it as safe for work and not safe for work, but what that means is, if you're a kid, I'm looking at you, Ernesto, there is the slightly shorter safe for work version where there is no boobies at all, except for a little bit of cleavage. While the not safe for work version is a few pages longer. Oh, it's really juicy. Like, honestly, I surprised myself by how spicy and juicy I made it, but I am really proud of how it came out.
We have Ernesto saying shush.
No snitties in this volume. Sorry, love.
So right here are some right here in interior. So is this a new character?
No, it's actually a character that is introduced in the first volume as a potential love interest for Ivy, but Ivy thought she had died in the first volume. I'm not going to spoil too much. She thought she had died until in the third volume, during her Ivy's own birthday party, her cat girlfriend Fatima reveals to her that Fiona the mermaid isn't dead. She survived, and it's thanks to her that everyone was saved from the really bad situation they found themselves near the end of the first volume. And here she finally makes her return after recovering properly and tries to sneak back into Ivy's life. But Ivy's not too sure how she feels about that.
Especially this little line right here too was thanks to me you got out, like, ooh, that's kind of shoo. So right here we have volume 1, over 200 plus pages, grayscale, extra pages not present in the webtoons version. Of course we have cute harpies in maid outfits, and cute lesbian harpies in maid outfits. Volume 2 is 53 pages with full color, beautiful redheaded harpies, sexy Scottish old men, tearful and heartwarming reunions, maybe some exaggerated romance tropes, but it's really cute and it works, trust me. I almost didn't know if I was going to get that first try.
Good job.
Volume 3, 50 pages, full color, mom finally going to therapy, new friends, birthday girl celebrations, hot bedtime girl pinning girl down. I really like the therapy part too. I think therapy is something that's not really, shown a lot, right? Therapy
Definitely.
Can be a really good thing if utilized. And I think, shining a little spotlight on that is important.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know if any of you have seen Centaur World, but in the 3rd volume, there is a little Elktar cameo. So he is a character from the Netflix animated show Centaur World, and I was like, yeah, centaurs, I'm gonna do a cameo.
And then we have volume 4, so 55 pages with the not safe for work version, and 50 pages with the safe for work. Mermaid love interest returning, adult men doing cute crayon drawings, awkward as fuck dinner dates. Like seriously, you get second.
I should do more tongue twisters in these.
I know. I'm like, I am not reading these next time. I already have secondhand embarrassment just listening to myself be embarrassing. And then we have sexy time. So this is the censored sexy times. And then we have the censored not safe for work cover right here. So it looks like we might see this finally happen. This has been building up. So this sounds like it's going to be a very heavy and hot issue.
Yes.
Oh, of course she brings beer like you are devious. And then, of course, a nicer look at some of these interiors, too. The interiors we had on our image slideshow was from Volume 3, so these are all a first look. Have you really shown these anywhere?
Webtoons, technically.
So if you haven't seen the webtoons, then you are in for a treat.
Oh, big time.
Uh-oh, and then we have that moment when you get, like, when you're close, and it's like almost like a magnet, right? So right here is a look at some of the shipping costs, and it's really not too bad at all. These are in pounds,
affordable.
But for anyone that is in the
euros.
Or euros for sorry. Anyone in the States, though, it's only $16, which is outstanding. I mean, this is coming from out of state, so the shipping is really cheap. I mean, I had to ship a shirt to what is it, the Netherlands. It was like $30 or $40 for a t-shirt.
Yeah. So the reason I'm able to keep the shipping to the United States so relatively low is because I do have a shipping hub in the United States. So pretty much what I do is that I've got this bud in the States who does this professionally. So all the books that I'm supposed to send to the States, I send 1 or 2 big boxes to him, and then he ships them domestically, which means it's safer because everything can be tracked, either the 1 box from me to him, and then the packages individually from him to the shippers. And it's cheaper because it's a lot cheaper to send 1 box to the States and then pay for domestic shipping than to pay for like 50 different individual packages.
So what are we seeing right here? I mean, he is starstruck, right?
It is the awkward as heck dinner date. At least it's how it starts.
Yeah, completely in love. You could just tell right away. And the food looks amazing too. Is this like an actual photo, or how did you do this?
Well, I do use a lot of SketchUp free assets, but I don't just use them by themselves because that would kind of be cheating a little bit. So I do a lot of like manipulating, fixing up, adding a lot of details myself. Like in this case, like a lot of the garlic things, or like in later panels when like they're eating the meat and they're partially cut, like I did a lot of changing myself. But I do use it a lot as a shortcut, pretty much, which is something that when it comes to indie traditional comics is not as common. But when it comes to like webtoons or tapas comics is something that is like the norm. Yeah. Pretty much. So like all like the original and the professional comics on those platforms use the same techniques. Because it looks fine and it allows you to make it a lot faster.
And I mean, the way you're able to kind of like show it in different like views and angles too, like that is awesome.
And I mean, even like if you use them, if you don't have an understanding of perspective, you can't really make it work anyway. So
I love this right here. So you like, so Netflix can't come for you. You just call it Netflix. Ooh, she's bringing up Ivy quite a bit too. Uh-oh, and she is a little drunk.
A little bit.
I'm loving these colors too. Like
Thank
this
you.
color palette, like for the hair and the highlight and the eye makeup and everything.
Thank you. Gosh, if you like this character design and palettes, you're gonna love the next volume. Jesus.
And this tension keeps building more and more. Uh-oh. And we also have some extra items too. So we have some prints.
And the prints are all laminated. So they're resistant to bending, tear, not scissors, but depending on what you do with them, they can easily be wiped off.
Ooh la la. Oh, and a nice little bookmark too. I always love the little chibi-esque type designs. They're awesome.
Oh, thank you. There's a lot of chibi stickers and keychains and stuff in the stretch goals, but we'll see that when we get to it.
We have Mars saying that wipeability is very important.
The wipeability is very important. That's true. Also, Fiona derogatory. I love that. Fiona is the name of the mermaid.
Oh, okay. I love this too. It's rad.
Yeah. I mean, what better way to advertise a notepad?
And then some original paintings too. So these paintings are gorgeous.
All of these are available as add-ons on the campaign. But also careful because the original ink drawings, last time they did like get snatched very quickly. So if they haven't gotten snatched yet, well, I'll check that after. Like you might not have much time left.
And we have some of the not for safe work designs as well. So if you guys get this, you won't have the little flowers covering these bits.
Yeah, of course.
I really like this, like the
yeah,
folds.
It's my favorite one.
Oh my god, this is gorgeous. Like, see, I'm not very good with art, so when I see something like this, I can really appreciate the amount of detail.
Thank
and this
you.
Probably took a lot of time too. This is gorgeous.
Yeah, this is honestly one of my favorite original inked illustrations of this campaign.
Oh, is this Christmas?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, these are gorgeous. I really love your lines.
And yeah, they do. Last time they got snatched up really quickly. So if you like him, don't hesitate.
We have Ernesto. Nina, didn't you know they lifted the ban on nipples? And then we have stretch goals. So I'll let you take the wheel. Go ahead and start listing off these stretch goals for us.
So as soon as we get to 100 euros, there's going to be Fire Elmo Ivy stickers for everyone who pledged a physical tier. When we get to 1500 euros, we'll get Violet Chibi stickers for everyone who pledged a physical tier. And when we get to 2000, we'll get Fiona Chibi stickers. So depending on which team you're on, you can like stick that on your forehead.
Or set it on fire.
Exactly. And then as soon as we get to 2500, last sticker, Chibi Ivy doing face. Then as soon as we get to, if we get to 3000 euros, there's a four-page blurb, like a mini floppy comic of a Sunrise Blossom prologue / epilogue, which is in the webcomic version. It's available at the very beginning, but it's technically like a very short something like 10 years in the future kind of thing. And there's going to be like this little mini comic for everyone who pledged a physical tier. Then if we reach 3,500 euros, there's going to be a very spicy bookmark. And honestly, I am really proud of this design because I do have, but we're going to mention that in a moment, a brand new Not Safe for Work comic coming up. And this was also the spicy scenes in this comic, as well as the designs on this bookmark, for example, were a little bit of practice for
I was
the
gonna
skin
ask.
rendering. Exactly.
I was gonna ask, but I was gonna wait. So I'm glad you brought that up, because you like, this book seems like it's a lot more spicier. So it kind of seemed like it went hand in hand. You also have an awesome keychain too.
So if you get 4,500, Fire Ivy keychain, and if we get to 5,500, then the cute Uvu keychain. And if we get to more than that, I don't know, maybe I'll add something, but we'll see.
And so we were talking earlier as well. Memes were a big part of your advertising. So let's go through some of these as well. So when you make these memes, are you just like busting them out on your phone, or what programs do you use?
I mean, I pretty much, sometimes I just like scroll like meme subreddits or stuff like that, but more often than not, I go on like Image Flip, where there's like the most trending memes, and I see, oh, I want to use this one, and then I like open like Polish on my phone and like do the editing, and then go to Twitter, go to Facebook, go to Discord.
And I love this too. Is like, let her go and wish her happiness, and he just boots it. So is that kind of like the main focus of your memes, is like really focusing on like your characters and like the story with them?
Yeah, exactly. So like what I try to do is like, because whenever I see a meme of someone else's project and it's something that invokes a particular emotion, like this one, while having flashbacks and panic attack when Jonathan proposes to her, this is fine. It's like, when other people do these kinds of memes, it makes me personally more curious about their project. And so I was trying to hopefully invoke similar feelings in other people seeing these memes. And given how I was able to like grow the pre-launch page, because we were at 118 followers on the pre-launch page. And it's the first time I ever got that much, because when we launched the previous volume, it was something like 70 followers on the pre-launch page. So it's working, and I'm glad it's working.
You had almost 120 when you hit launch, so that is awesome. I like this too. Try to get Ivy drunk and make a move, or be a decent human being mermaid in Fiona. So, I mean, do you make these all like in one go, or do you try to make one each day? Like, what's kind of like
Well, with the previous campaign, I did them bit by bit. But with this one, there was an afternoon where... Sorry, I got something in my eye.
Oh,
but
with
this one, there was an afternoon where, like, I didn't have work. I was bored. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to start dishing out memes. And so I did.
Jonathan fans read it. Does Jonathan have fans? I think everyone's anti-Jonathan, right?
Okay. If Jonathan has 100 fans, I am one of those fans. If Jonathan has 10 fans, I am one of those fans. If Jonathan has 1 fan, I am that fan. If Jonathan has no fans, I am dead. I freaking love Jonathan. He's one of my favorite characters. He's too sweet. He deserves the world.
I was gonna say, why do you put him in this situation then?
It's about gay birds, not straight men. I'm sorry.
Someone has to be sacrificed.
Exactly.
Violet,
well, he does get a happy ending.
So that's good though. That's good though. That's good.
Yeah, because the moment in the future, in the next issue, not this one, the one after that, where alas they have to go their separate ways, there is a new romantic interest introduced to him in like the very same scene, so it's fine.
So we have Violet at the end of Sunrise Blossom, Volume 4. Ivy, I'm horny. Getting a girl drunk to hit on her is wrong and all. Yes, that's 100%. When I seen that Fiona was doing that, that's what I was thinking in my head. I'm like, you're devious, Fiona.
Yeah, one of the reasons why I decided to put that scene specifically in this volume is that when she was introduced in the very, very first volume, that was technically what she was... Ah, oh, Jesus, my eye. That was technically what she was doing then, too. But people didn't notice. And I was like, wait, how is nobody noticing?
So we are looking at the Volume 4 Safe for Work digital PDF for about $6 for the backing. Everyone watching right here is the link. Be sure to check this out with us. Let me go ahead and put this in chat real quick. We have the Volume 4 not Safe for Work digital PDF for $9. So at $6 $17, you can get the Volume 4 Safe for Work physical print. And then at $22, you can get the not safe for work as well. Sorry, it's I'm trying to like work around the euro part, so it like throws me off when I have to
like even in the description, like I do have rough estimates that I made about a month ago when I was making the
right there,
page.
yeah, okay, I see that.
Inflation has changed a little bit, so it was like 21.2 when I made the page, so now it's like maybe 21.7, so it changes to about 22. But there is a rough estimate that might be up or down by 50 cents or $1 or so because, you know, inflation and all that. But it is a rough estimate.
And then you have a for $33 volume 1 through 4 digital PDF. And this will also include the safe for work and the not safe for work PDF version. So awesome price. All of them. Yeah, and that's what, like 300-400 pages?
Yeah, it's like, so the first one is like 220. Then the other ones are about 50 each. So it's 300, almost 400 pages. Like something like 380.
I'm mathing today. Nothing's stopping me. And then we have at $66, you can get 1 through 4 physical prints, physical copies, but this includes just the Safe for Work edition.
Just in case you're getting it for your kid or something.
And then at $71, you can get the not Safe for Work version. So that's 1 through 4 physical copies. At $109, we have the Sunrise Blossom Deluxe package. Give us a little bit about what's in this.
Everything. Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3, 4 safe for work, 4 not safe for work, the PDFs of all of them, 1, 2, 3, 4 safe for work, not safe for work, all the prints, all the stickers, all the bookmarks, and the notepad. And I may have missed something, but yeah, pretty much all that's listed. Plus, of course, all of the stretch goals that will be unlocked.
That's some bang for your buck too.
Thank you.
And then we have the Volume 4 retail tier, so 10 copies of the Safe for Work, and then or not Safe for Work. You choose which and how many. Pledge $136. We have Ernesto. I'll spend all my money and buy the deluxe package.
Oh, thanks, baby.
And then we have at $142 the advertisement tier. So advertise your product or comic, have a page dedicated to your product at the end of the comic. So awesome price there.
There just in case. I mean, of course, if you're going to advertise freaking like soap in my comic, I don't think it's going to quite be worth it. But if like, I don't know, something like shows or a comic or like an indie publishing company or whatever that does comics that are similar to mine, it might be a good idea because it's going to be there in every reprint.
So that is the Kickstarter in its entirety. Let's go ahead and just see what we're ending off when we're leaving this right here. So 858.18 backers. Let's go, dude. We might hit that 1,000.
Maybe.
Let's go. Ernesto, they dropped us so.
I can see people in the meantime in my Discord server arguing about why can't I use PayPal for Kickstarter. I don't know if any of the people in my Discord are here right now, but you can't use PayPal on Kickstarter. You need a credit or debit card. It's been like that for ages, and I'm really sorry. If you don't have a card, I'm sorry. You can go take it from your parents' wallet, and then pray they don't notice.
And and if you get in trouble, you didn't hear it from the Keeping It Geekly show.
Oh yeah. I don't endorse stealing, but you can ask your parents nicely.
Maybe do a couple chores, butter them up a little bit. So, Nina, after going through that Kickstarter, what would you like to say to anyone who might be on the fence about backing?
Well, even if you're on the fence, keep in mind that also, like, even if you just get one physical copy, I think that all the stretch goals alone would be worth paying, like the $15 for the comic and the $15 for the shipping would be worth, because the stretch goals, like, they're all for free, and depending on how many people back it, the more are unlocked, and I think that alone might be worth it. And also keep in mind that if you help fund this campaign, you are spreading awareness and normativity of LGBT relationships, as well as a strong female protagonists that aren't just, I'm not like other women, I fix cars, which is a harmful stereotype. Please don't do that. And this is different.
And I really like how you're not afraid to dive into the different like emotions and levels to it too. It's such an awesome reading experience. We have two geeks talking over on YouTube. Woohoo, Nina and Cody, two of my favorite peeps. Thank you so much, everyone. If you're not following Kurt is an awesome interviewer as well. Be sure to throw him some subs. We always love two geeks talking. You know, Geek Central up in here. So
yeah,
Nina,
I'm going to have another show with him in like March, I think, to promote another comic that's coming out very, 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 very soon, which I might plug before we finish. So I did mention briefly that the spicy scenes, as well as the bookmark, were also in a way sort of practice for another comic that is releasing next month called The Lusty Dragon Mistress. And if any of you have been following me on Twitter or Facebook or in my Discord server, you might have seen concept art, but it's starting. The first few pages are already sketched out. My inker for this project has already started inking.
oh, that's
and it's
awesome.
it's about a dragon girl who collects and wives. So the first issue is all storyboarded. It's 42 pages, of which 30 are pure.
Yeah, I was gonna say this sounds like a shoe. So was Sunrise Blossom just kind of like the build up to this? It seems like, because like you're like, I'm gonna put all my emotion, relationship building into this story, and then this one's just gonna be pure.
Well, not exactly. Like, I feel that the way it happened in Sunrise Blossom was a very natural building to that, and it did occur like in a natural setting, in a natural way. Well, the Lusty Dragon Mistress, there's not a lot of natural to it. The level of plot, there is plot that is relevant to it, but the plot in the Lusty Dragon Mistress is as important as the plot of any video on the known P-Hub platform. And so yeah, Sunrise Blossom, there is the not safe for work version in this issue, but it's not a not safe for work series. Like, there is this scene, and there may be other scenes in the future, but it is technically like my main story, and it's about women growing up, maturing, discovering themselves, discovering various sides of themselves. Well, this side project is, I'm ashamed to say it, to pay the bills, because that's what my audience wants. And it's honestly really fun to draw and challenging. Like, even just by doing the storyboards themselves, I learned a lot. I improved a lot. It's going to be a challenge, but it's fun.
So we have two geeks talking, keep it a geekly, just one X, gonna give it to you in 20 seconds. So, what can we expect from this series? I know you said there's going to be a whole lot of trucking, but what else? For anyone who might be kind of just interested in checking it out.
Well, every issue is going to focus on a different wife. So it does have like an overarching story of this dragon who can transform into a dragon girl. And normal dragons, they hoard gold, they hoard jewels. If you play Skyrim, maybe they hoard cheese rolls. But in this story, this dragon hoards wives. So follow us as our main dragon girl, Aurea, gradually hoards wives and collects wives one issue from one issue to another, and makes them happy.
And that has to be a hard job. Like, oh man, that sounds like one hell of a series. And you are going to be sitting down with Kurt, you said in March?
So they should start coming out in February if all goes well. But in March, it's going to start going on properly. It's going to start getting into the rhythm of it.
So everyone, be sure to check out Two Geeks Talking for that sit down as well. I'm sure we'll be having you on to talk about that too as well. So let me know. I'd love. That might be a series we'd have to do after hours though. So stay tuned. But with that being said, everyone watching, let's drop this link one last time. This was one hell of a launch party.
Yeah.
We killed it. 20 minutes funded. Thank you, everyone who made that happen today. Nina, you've been on the show before. Before we wrap things up completely, I always love asking for a little bit of advice. So for anyone who might be having trouble in terms of marketing or advertising, what would be some of your suggestions to kind of help them get the most out of their day?
It's hard. Marketing and promoting a comic is hard, and there isn't one formula that works for everyone, because what works for me doesn't work for some friends of mine. So I say my biggest thing is a lot of trial and error. See what other people are doing, try imitating it, try different things, see what works, see what doesn't. In my case, things like memes often work, or something that I've been doing recently on Twitter. Because like recently, like I was like at 800 followers on Twitter like 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
And currently on Twitter, I'm at, let me check, 1,200 followers. I got like 400 followers in just a couple of weeks. And I got that by doing interactive sort of posts, like stuff like, hey, post your newest art below and I will rate it from 1 to 10. Or, hey, I want new not safe for work art boots. So share your stuff below. Let's follow each other. Or stuff like, hey, post your pitch, your comic pitch, and I will rate it or give you my advice, and stuff like that gets engagement, helps the algorithm. But hey, anyway, trial and error, see what works, sticks to it.
So is it hard giving advice when someone wants you to give like a 1 through 10 on their comic? That seems like for me, I would be intimidated by that because I'd be afraid I would like hurt someone's feelings potentially.
Well, if someone asks for critique, and I'm not saying like advice, but critique,
mm-hmm.
then normally they ought to be prepared to potentially getting their feelings hurt.
That's true. Of course,
I'm not going like, even if I gave like a 4 out of 10, I then just say, oh, 4 out of 10, this sucks. But I would always pair it with a suggestion. Like, for example, let me see if I can find like a very quick example of one of these. And
then Ernesto asked, how much has your backing gone up? Right now we are at, I want to say, let me refresh this, a 975, 21 backer, $25 from 1,000.
Oh,
damn. Hey, you spoke it into existence.
Thanks, man. Okay, let me see. I'm quickly looking for some lower rating examples in which there was a lot more, in which I gave more advice. Hold on. Oh, come on. There were lots.
Yeah, if anyone is on the fence about backing, 20, make it a tier of 25. Let's hit 1,000. Right there is the link. Let's go. That is so awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm just scrolling through the Twitter. I'm looking for the thing.
Almost doubled your goal, too, in one stream. You just broke it. $1,057. Let's fucking go.
Thank you, everyone.
That's awesome, dude.
Thank you so much. God, anyway, I can't find any right now because it's just scrolling is making it hard. So something like maybe someone would like, instead of like giving a pitch, they would do something like list events and characters. Like if you say, oh, dude moves to a new town and he finds a magical sword in the forest. Then he discovers that he is the lost son of an alien race and must defeat the bad guys. Like with pitches like those, I would give it a low rating. But then I wouldn't just say, oh, like I would like give advice. Like I would say, hey, this pitch isn't quite working. If you decided to use more buzzwords and use more pacing, better pacing, and like try to use words that painted a picture or like painted a scene, it would make people a lot more intrigued. So stuff like, and then I'll also like give them examples. So something like new town, new life, new everything, right? That's what little Johnny thought he would have when his parents forced him to move to a new town. But everything was subverted against his expectations when, upon walking in the woods, a magical sword appeared, like helping people mostly. But yeah,
I think that's an important thing. That's an important part, though, right? Is kind of like if especially if there is maybe less than stellar critique to kind of sandwich it with some advice on how to make it better.
Exactly, sandwich it. That's the important thing with critique and advice. But yeah,
that's so cool.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. This is so, congratulations. One last time I'm just double checking real quick. 1,057. We are ending it. 22 backers. Congratulations on almost doubling your funding goal. Everyone that is watching, thank you so much for making this happen in the live stream as well. If you guys aren't subscribed, feel free to hit that button. It is free to subscribe. We do interviews almost every day, and I have a lot of awesome content coming.
Content, not this way.
Well, technically, we're right above each other with because it goes to OBS.
Okay, there.
Well, you'd be pointing up, I'd be pointing down. So feel free to hit subscribe. We're gonna have awesome content coming out. I'm on the road to 800, and we do Lego builds every time we hit those goals. I just did this Millennium Falcon in the back. Took 6 hours. It was awesome. Everyone watching, I hope you have a fantastic Saturday afternoon. But most importantly, guys, keep it geekly.